Hello, throughout the series of this short videos, I'm going to show you how to scrape Twitter data and how to do some simple analysis using the programming language R, and RStudio will be our platform for using R. But before we can do any scraping, we have to set up what's called an API, which is an application programming interface. It's the conduit that we're going to talk in between R and Twitter in order to scrape our data. So you need two things before you can set up the API for Twitter. So the first thing you need is a email account, any email account. As you can see up top here, this is an email account that I created specifically for this purpose, for this course. And after you set up the email account, you use that to set up a Twitter account. You can see TRAC-MTRY, that's my Twitter account here. After you log into Twitter, you actually don't need to do anything in the Twitter interface itself. You go to apps.twitter.com. If you're logged into Twitter, it'll automatically bring you to this screen, and you go to the Create New App. You can call this app whatever you want, Application 1. Call it, put in some sort of description. It does have to be over 10 characters. Scraping app 1. And then you can put in any website. It doesn't have to be a specific website that you own or one that you actually have to want to point to. I just put a placeholder in there. Yahoo.com. It does have to be a valid website though. You do not need a callback URL. Agree, and you create your Twitter application. That's going to give you application 1. So you do have to have a specific name for that. Okay, Shingleton application 1. There we go. Okay. This is going to give you a couple of things that are necessary for scraping Twitter data. You go over here to keys and access tokens. These two keys up here are necessary, and I usually copy these and throw them into a notepad for a quick reference. But there's two other keys I need in here too, and that's access tokens. I click on the Create My Access Tokens. The Twitter API automatically creates them for you. I grab these two, throw them in my notepad for easy reach later on. Now, Twitter does limit the amount of data that you can scrape using these specific codes. If you scrape too much, it'll lock out those codes, and you'll either have to wait for 15 minutes or you have to use a new code. So if you're going to scrape a large amount of Twitter data, what I recommend is going up here to Application Management and creating an additional application. Same exact process. That'll give you another code. You can create a maximum of 4, sometimes 5, depends on the bandwidth of Twitter, APIs associated with one Twitter account. If you have to do a whole bunch of scraping, I recommend multiple Twitter accounts, which means multiple email addresses. I recently did a project where I had to create 4 different Twitter accounts in order to scrape the necessary amount of data. That's all for this video. I will be showing you in the next video how to use those keys to connect to Twitter.